Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you today? Jess, how was your weekend?
Okay.
No, come on. You have had a concussion. You were on brain rest. You were supposed to be taking care of yourself.
Since we spoke last, I have done a lot of brain resting.
What does that mean to you?
For those of you who are wondering what that is, what the doctor told me last Tuesday, we record on Mondays, is that I was not allowed to look at any screens, use my phone, do any complicated thinking. I was to be sleeping and maybe take a walk.
Death
and that was
first.
it. Well, so if you sleep in the night, it's kind of hard to take your kid to school and then come home and go back to sleep. So I did a lot of laying without sleeping. I did some meditations. And then around the Wednesday time period, I was complaining about this to my sister-in-law who came over for dinner. And she said, you know what you should do is go somewhere where you can't use your phone. How about like a massage or something? And I was like, oh, she is a genius. Spa
day.
So I booked for Thursday and Friday. Well, first of all, it would only let me book 2 things. So while I was there Thursday, I booked things for Friday. So Thursday I went there and I had a full facial, and I don't really like massages, so I did like a body scrub. So for those of you who don't know what that is, first she did skin brushing. Have you ever heard of skin brushing?
It sounds painful.
It's like a dry brush that you like, it's exfoliating, but you're not wet or anything. You just brush the skin to get rid of all the stuff, and then they do a scrub and they scrub the living shit out of you. Scrubby, scrub-a-dub-dub. Then she washes it off. What?
Do they use like that apricot scrub, like that St. Ives stuff? Like, what do they use? Like sugar? Is it sugar scrub? Because that's the new thing.
It's probably some super expensive spa scrub with some kind of oil in it that will stay on the body and moisturize it. And then she slathered me up in shea butter. Oh. And then, both sides. So I started on my stomach and then flipped to the back. Then she shea buttered, then she brushed me and shea buttered me up. Then she started on the facial, which also included like a scalp massage, which I thought would be helpful for the headaches. It was like a peppermint oil scalp massage. And then
Jesus, did she then put a onion and a cinnamon stick in your cavity and then put you in the oven for like 2 hours?
Oh man, that's funny that you say that, because first thing she did after she washed my face, so she washed my face, dried it off, and then stuck a pumpkin enzyme mask. I smelled like Thanksgiving pie.
That's
first.
So funny that John went to food that put you in the oven, and
totally
I thought, if not for the concussion, this is a porn waiting to happen. Like John went one direction, I went another.
Porn.
Yeah.
It's totally women's porn.
Well, I mean, they're slathering you with apricot and peppermint oil, and I'm like, this is what you do to a Thanksgiving turkey.
I smelled like a hippie store. And then pumpkin enzyme, and then wash that off, and then probably another mask, and then wash that off, and then a toner. Oh no, not a toner, because then she did something called dermaplaning. Do you guys know what that is?
No, I'm a guy.
Let me tell you. A very small, very sharp razor blade on the entire face. So my face now feels softer than a baby's ass, but also no peach fuzz whatsoever. And like, how like sometimes your skin can get dry, and then even exfoliation doesn't have it come off. So like, it kind of like, it almost takes off a layer of skin. I'm actually only 29 now. No, I'm just kidding.
Did any of this hurt? Was any of it uncomfortable?
No, not this part.
So what they did was they shaved a few rings off of your trunk.
She shaved a few rings off the face trunk. She also took an electric current. She was afraid because of the concussion.
That I know about, yeah.
Yeah, and she electrically currented my face. I don't know what that did yet. Like, I don't see a...
Well, that's supposed to tighten up. That's supposed to activate your collagen and tighten stuff up. So, yeah, you're probably 29. Tight? You are, okay. I don't remember ever seeing you this tight.
You could bounce a quarter off your cheek across the street.
That's right. So, and then moisturizer on top. And then I booked the next day for having skin tags removed, which is disgusting.
Fun.
and a manicure and having my eyebrows tinted.
Hey, can I ask you?
Let me show you my eyebrows.
When you say skin tags removed, yes, they are lovely eyebrows.
Jessica's leaning in. I look smart. I look very polished and smart. And she waxed them and then she just dyed them a little bit of a darker color.
Go back.
What?
Skin tags removed. How many are we talking?
I'm getting to it.
How many?
So I didn't have, after my first 2 babies, I didn't really have them, but I have friends that after the 3rd kid, just they like pop up on the neck and stuff. I do not have any on my neck. However, yeah, right. So John has a few. So like I have like 2 or 3 under each of my arms, and I have like 2 or 3 not under my boobs. Like you don't have to lift my boobs up to see them, but like on my stomach area.
She lifts her boobs up.
Because they're like, because you can't see me, but they're like here.
Thanks. Okay.
So
Got
like,
it. So you have to especially hair dry them after showering.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
So like,
I don't like my skin tags wet.
I don't know what this was not a laser and it's not a knife. So I'm not sure what the hell she did to them. You know what? I had really tiny ones on my eye that she got rid of. So first, let me just say that this thing looks like a pen and feels like a tiny bee sting. And at first when she said that to me, I was like, have you ever been stung by a bee? It does not feel tiny. She's like, I have, and you're right. But you'll see. And she was right. It was like dots of bee stings. It hurt like a bitch. I mean, especially on your eye, because it feels like someone is trying to brainwash you, basically. Like zorch, 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 zorch. And then what happens is they turn white right away. Then they turn black. Then they fall off. So like that happened. And then some of them that were... I mean, large is a strong word. They're not that big. Like, my skin tags are probably, like, they're tiny. But, like, some are bigger than others because some are just starting and whatever. It's not like I had, like, a tumor.
Not a tumor.
But, some of them are more annoying than others. And so...
I'm sorry that you didn't Skype me when you had all those black spots on you before they fell off.
They're not done falling off yet. So...
Maybe you'll show me later?
The 2 or 3 on this side, well, right now it looks like mosquito bites. And then the other ones that are larger are still like in the process of turning black. It's disgusting. It's one of the most disgusting, painful things that have ever happened to me. I will never do this again. I will just get a pair of scissors, chop it off, and put on a Band-Aid. This is never happening again. The thing is, like, the way she does it, they're not supposed to ever come back. So, like, skin tags can come back, I think, if you just, like, take a scissor to them. I don't know, because this is my first skin tag. They're just terrible. If you Google skin tags, you'll see people who have left them on until they became the size of, like, footballs. Football-sized skin tag. Like, why? How?
Well, I'll tell you. I've had a couple.
Okay.
Usually big? Not as big as a football, but I would say the size of like a raisin, like a very big raisin. And, so what happens is,
they grow a life of their own and start to talk to you.
Right. And then what will happen is it'll get caught like on a sleeve or something and it'll tear a little bit. Then it'll get so then you end up going there and they have to take it off because it's like all sore and you can't even put your arm down. So I've had that done. But yeah, I could probably go get them done too. I mean, I have a bunch. I can't imagine. I wouldn't want to count them. Let's put it that way. But I have a bunch. I didn't know you could go to a place. I'll tell you what, I wake up every morning and the first thing I do when I open my eyes is I say, thank God I am a man. Thank God I don't have to torture myself.
I don't even know if Scott knew I had them.
No. But what I'm saying is what women do, like you said, I'm going to go pamper myself. And so far they smeared you in oil, rubbed you with stuff, put a mask on you.
Oh, but come on, I look fantastic.
Listen, what you ladies do for beautification is amazing. I'm just glad I don't have to do it. I didn't say you're not.
Look how glowy I am. Look, I'm
you are glowing. You're like a lightning bug over there. But I'm just saying that what you ladies put yourselves through is amazing. Yeah. It's crazy.
You wouldn't believe the other stuff she has going on there. Like, she'll go ahead and, like, electrocurrent your wrinkles and, like, what else was I thinking about getting done? Oh, microblading the eyebrows is a tiny little. This is fun. Rather than dye the eyebrow hair, it's like a tiny little like a
Melissa
safety
looks
pin.
disgusted.
It's a safety pin that tattoos hairs. So you get like your eyebrows. They're not tattooed though because it's like henna. It comes off in like 3 or 4 weeks. But like tattoo. I mean, imagine how freaking painful that is.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
What I'd really like is to get rid of like the two alien hairs or the 3 that are coming out of my like neck and chin area because like I tweeze them probably every other day. Like as soon as I even see a dot of it, I'm like, I must have you. Give it to me.
How badly do you feel when you look down or the light catches it and it's like a corkscrew and you think,
yeah,
who the fuck is in my life that didn't say to me, yo, bitch, grab that. Come here, let me get that for you. Nobody told you. How long does it take hair to grow that it got as long as a corkscrew and nobody loved you enough to tell you that you've got a rogue hair coming out of your chin? And John,
I'd rather have broccoli in my teeth, frankly.
And John, women don't see half of this stuff as torture. What Jessica did to herself at some points was torture.
It was relaxing, goddammit.
But that's it. They go there to be slathered because on my side, not eating it, but on my side, it's like porn for us. It's somebody loving on you without expecting a happy ending. And if you get one, yay for me. But it's...
Has that ever happened to you? It's never happened to me.
It's never happened to me. But before my girlfriend's wedding... Oh my God, it's going to be 2 summers ago, coming this summer. We had a spa day. I told Jess about it. We went to this incredible spa closer between the two of us. And we had massages and facials. And it was dreamy to have somebody just lay hands on you. And because we paid for 2 things at the spa, you got to use all of the facilities. So we went. And we sat in a salt room where there was a wall of salt as water trickled down.
This is the kind of place I should have gone to, so I didn't have to be plucked and poked.
They would, Jess, they would have been so good to you.
But I did have fun.
Then I told you we went into the haystacks where they are like tiny saunas where they're individual. You go in naked and you sit on, I want to tell you it's a bench, but right below that bench is a huge bale of hay. And then they heat that shit up to hundreds of degrees. Stinky. And yes, it smells like a barn. But we sweat out at least a dress size. And then 2 days later, a week later, we were in bridesmaids dresses. And we look good, man. We look good in those dresses. But we sweat out. It was the most, we giggled the whole time. There was alcohol involved. They served us lunch. We had the best day.
It is like porn.
Yeah, it was the best day. So, John, there was food there.
That's the idea. I just didn't happen to go to one of those places that had like a salt room and a waterfall and all that shit. So I just decided to like beautify because it was a good way to keep my hands to myself. Oh, and she gave me a manicure too.
That's the other thing. The pedicure, the play with your feet, the hands, the scalp.
Yeah, don't play with my feet, but you're right. I mean, yeah, it was the facial is actually really nice. It doesn't feel like torture. It feels like someone's like making your face glowy and pretty.
And I didn't used to like that. I didn't like something. I felt like I couldn't breathe. She said, I don't cover your nose, but I will cover your mouth. Yo, for somebody who does shtick probably 20 hours a day, I can't have you cover my mouth. Like I need my mouth. Like that's how, but you know what? It's better. I told you to find someone for your services that doesn't talk to you. So your brain can just sit there and not engage constantly to just not talk. But Stuart has that problem too when he gets a massage. He's all talk. I said, how could you even enjoy it if you're constantly talking? Go in there, close your eyes, and shut the fuck up. No, so where are you from? No, so how are your kids? So do you have? Are you shut the fuck up and just enjoy it? Let someone touch you and make you feel nice. In my head, I think that's 20 minutes, 10 minutes. How much time do I have left? I have 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left, 4 minutes. It's almost over. I can't enjoy this. How am I supposed to enjoy it if it's almost over? Like I'm constantly counting time. But if you have the day, that's just dreamy. And you did 2 days. So you did 2 days. What did you do that was enjoyable the second day? It sounds like you got poked, you got prodded, you got eyebrowed.
The manicure.
Okay, the manicure.
The eyebrows and the manicure. I mean, you don't enjoy that. It's kind of like just being waxed, but like, it was nice to sit up and be like, hey, I look smart. I have actual eyebrows and they don't look like someone just like tousled them. Because that's the thing is like, I have my father's eyebrows and and they can get really long and curly. And actually, Nate has this too, where it's like, if I'm not careful, one will just be like, "Hello, how are you today?" Da-da-da-da-da. Hello. I'm gonna stick out like little antennas,
Like
you're a
mine?
bug. No, yours are short.
Yeah, but
These
they
are long
stick out.
hairs and they're curly.
Yeah,
No,
well, I
sticking
get
out's
one.
not the same as like the curly ones that just go in all weird directions.
Look at Jessica's hair. Picture her hair coming out just above her eye.
Right.
That's what you get. And
Kinda,
it's
pretty
one
much.
thing when they wax. It's another thing while they're waxing you when they take out scissors to trim and you're like, "Oh,
She did that too.
Should I have plucked that guy? Is this embarrassing? Should I be embarrassed?" That's
I
my
have not
other
touched
thing.
my eyebrows in months because I've been trying to let them grow out. Because when you overpluck, you end up with nothing, and then it just looks weird. So, I
And
don't
the
want
fear is-
fully drawn in eyebrows. I want my own eyebrows to look,
Well,
so this
that's
way they
the
look
fear.
like eyebrows.
That's the fear that they're going to stop growing. And you're going to be like, "Oh, God."
They did stop growing. This is all I've got. This is it. Like I should have they used to be caterpillars, like full Brooke Shields caterpillars, and I plucked the shit out of them.
Like Eugene
I have
Levy.
nothing. Yeah. Well, all right, not that bad.
Or Daniel.
I mean, they weren't like Cara Delevingne. Yeah, Daniel Levy. No, I'm not a bear.
I love them.
I do too.
And on a man, I think that's sexy as hell.
Oh my god,
I
they're
love
both
that.
delicious. Even Eugene is delicious with his eyebrows.
I love that. Yeah, I love it.
I do too.
And I love that show. Oh my God, it's so good.
I miss it so much.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It's
Oh my
so
god,
good.
speaking of other shows though, do you guys watch Homeland at all?
Yes.
Did you
Please,
see
I
that
didn't
last
see.
night?
I did not because I can't
I
watch
won't
it
say
before we
anything
go
about
to
it.
bed. If I watch it before bedtime, I'm just up all night and my heart's racing and I'm crazy
the same
and I can't.
way, but I had to because I think last night was the season finale and I was dying to find out what was going to happen. So I watched it. I won't give it away though, but it was amazing.
Today we'll watch. Yeah, it is. It's the writing's so good.
You're
Today
gonna have
we'll
to
watch
watch it today. You have
Oh,
to.
absolutely, but
Text
not
me
at
and tell
night.
me what you think. And then there's another show I've been watching that I'm totally obsessed with. Elsie got me into this one. I could kill her. It's called Requiem, and it's a British. I
Requiem.
wanna say
Damn near
Requiem.
killed him.
Ha ha! Have you guys ever seen the movie Hot Fuzz? Where
Comedy.
with yeah, it's a
Porno?
comedy.
Oh.
No,
No, sorry.
that would be a good porno name. That's not bad. No, Hot Fuzz is the guy from Run Fat Boy Run and his writing partner, the more fluffy British guy. They're both British, and basically they're cops and they're investigating like some weird shit happening in the town. Well, this is kind of the same thing, but not funny. It's a musician whose mom slices her throat right in front of her, like a nice, friendly, not a mom that would do this normally. And then she finds a box of shit from another town that her mom had. So she goes to the town to investigate, and it becomes very interesting. I don't want to give it away, but there's only 6 episodes, and it's kind of amazing. So I would recommend you see it because
On what?
It's on Netflix.
Okay, thank you. Requiem.
So
I'm on it.
Requiem, and then Hot Fuzz if you're interested. It's very funny, but similar in theme. And then what was the other one I said? Oh, Homeland. I'll put links in the show notes for those of you who are if anyone's listening. There.
If you're listening, if anyone, dear listener, if you have not started watching Homeland, I'm so jealous of you that you get to
I
start
know.
from the first season and binge. It's a very dark place you'll be in when you get out of it.
I've
but
never
it's
seen an
so
episode,
good.
so I guess I have to start, right?
Ah, it's so good.
It's like Dexter
good.
was. Like Dexter was like.
Have you never watched it, dude?
No, I've never seen Homeland. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you should start. It's really good. You'll love it because you're human.
What was the show that I just started watching that I thought was really, really good? Oh, what did you guys think about Roseanne? I like it. I don't understand. I mean, I like the show.
I liked it too.
Yeah, I'm still watching it. A lot of
The
people
same way I
pulled
liked
out.
it before. Well, they pulled out because she's a Trump supporter, but the fact of the matter is she was white trash from the get-go, and I liked that, and I still like it, and I absolutely adore Laurie Metcalf. There's nobody funnier. Then I was just watching another show, and Laurie Metcalf was in that too. It was one of my kids' shows. It was a superhero show.
With
It'll come
Laurie
to me.
Metcalf.
Yeah,
A
she
superhero
came
show
in
with
as
Laurie Metcalf.
Yeah, she came
Hold
in
on.
as somebody's mother, as like a day player. She just had a. She was just. She's so
I'm looking it
good.
up.
Yeah, look up her
She's so
IMDb.
good.
She's
She
so
really is.
good. And on the funny side and
Okay.
on the drama side, I told you I saw that play. On
Oh,
the
just
drama
because
side,
you met her up in
Ah.
New York doesn't mean she's
I
the
love
next
this.
Meryl Streep.
It
Oh,
said
she's
she was
so
in
good.
Uncle Buck. I just remember her in Uncle Buck. Supergirl. She was Mary
she
McGowan.
was in Supergirl, right? She was the mother to one of the main characters who from 100 years ago, which means she could come back, but they didn't kill her off. Spoiler. So she showed up there, and Ethan turns to me. He goes, "Didn't we just see her on Broadway?" I said, "Yes, baby, we did." And I said, "What's her name again?" He goes, "Laurie Metcalf." And I said, "Raising them right, raising them
Yep.
right."
You are.
For all the
I
times.
sent him home so I could go backstage and
Shut up.
fanboy out.
Shut up.
You
For all
sure are.
for all the times that I say I am doing a bad job parenting, there was one where I was raising them right. But John's right. I then sent them back to a hotel so I could meet her. So thank you for following through with my raising them right to bad mom. Right back.
There you go.
Thanks so much.
That's what I'm here for.
Bringing me back.
So let's see. What else?
I don't even know if we got to your brain off day, so you just went to a spa for 2 days. But that's
I just
about
went
it.
to a spa for 2 days. Yep.
Well, I have a question about how I even still have friends. A friend of ours listened to a podcast recently that told her all the things. How you're still friends with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you actually mentioned it on a previous podcast. Like, I don't necessarily return phone calls. I don't necessarily, and here's what made me really think of it was I'm terrible. Our friend Annie listened to a podcast that had all of the rules for adult female friendships, and we break all of them. But besides breaking whatever they are,
We do.
I don't RSVP. I don't. I'm the worst. How about that? I'm the worst. And I thought of it. Yeah.
It's not news to me, but like, what are the rules? Do you?
Well, how do I?
Did she
how
send
do I
it?
still have friends?
Well,
No,
because
it's
your
not.
real friends know exactly who you are and love you anyhow. That's how you
First
have
of
friends.
all, and second of all, because not all friends are super sensitive about this shit.
So
Right.
you're saying I just have the friends that give zero fucks about.
Yeah,
like they're
you.
okay with floating shit and having me giggle on my own and later having me float shit out there and giggling on the way back. But that non-returned phone call, I mean, it says that you have to put all of this work into these friendships. And yes,
I never do that.
but yes, I do say, let's meet up. Make sure I see your face once or twice a year because that way you don't give up on me not texting and not calling back and not
So that's
RSVPing.
your friend maintenance. That's your friend maintenance. I see you once or twice a year, and that way that's how we maintain our friendship. Is that your point?
Well, mandatory, but I was lucky enough to see my friends a lot more this year, and it really was the wind in my sail. Like it really does move the needle for me, and it makes a difference for me because I told you I don't really leave the house except for these meetings where I get in trouble and start trouble, and I need to have something to talk to you about. So I guess I just don't understand how I still have friends when in reality.
Well,
I'm there for you when you need me. I'm there for you sometimes, but on the daily maintenance and the weekly maintenance, I'm not your girl. Like I suck at it. It's not because I don't
do.
care. It's
do you
not
have any
because I
new
don't care.
friends? Do you have any new friends?
I was in Wegmans the other day and I ran into Mallory. Mallory had a friend from I don't know 3 years ago,
answer's
and I
no.
ran into her mom there and I talked to her for 20 minutes and it was a great conversation. I think she's awesome. I think her husband's awesome. And then will I talk to her again? No.
So you don't have any new friends. So basically, all you're doing is all your old friends that remember the old Melissa, the pre-married Melissa, they're your friends because they remember the fun Melissa. They don't remember
No, they
the...
still know me. We still get together, our families. We still
But-
see each other on the regular.
Yeah, but see what happens is they still have a reference of the fun, great Melissa, not the Melissa that's before them right now. So they just go back to that. What happens is that you won't make any... Why you asked the question and I'm
Well, you
answering
don't
it. Now
think
you're
I'm
shooting
still-
me the finger.
Oh, yeah, because you're saying the fun, great Melissa was only 20 years ago and not now.
You are just saying that. I'm just listening. I'm paying attention. You're saying that right now you're a horrible friend. You don't return phone calls. You only see your friends once or twice a year because you have to.
But I'm
because
still
they
fun and
maintain-
great. I'm still
You are
fun and
fun and
great.
great.
I
Okay.
just suck
You are.
at the essentials for friendship. I just suck at those. I have a standing Tuesday breakfast date with my girlfriend here. And if I didn't see her every Tuesday, we would probably drift some too. And I have to put it on the calendar. If any of these people, Stuart and I will go out to dinner with our kids, friends, parents, and we have a great time. I really like all of these people. And I think we joke. Actually, it's Stuart's joke, and it's really annoying. But he says, okay, guys, this was an audition. We'll go home, and Melissa and I will talk about it tonight and see if you made the cut. Like, he makes this joke, did you make the cut? And finally, I said to him, I wish you would stop saying that because nobody calls us after a first date.
Yeah.
This woman I ran into in the supermarket, she and I
It's a little hurtful.
We went out to dinner with our friend. We went out to dinner as friends, and we never heard from them again.
Oh.
And I'm sure he made that. Stuart made that dumb joke, but you know, he has like the top 5 dumb jokes.
Okay, so then here's the thing: if they don't get Stuart's dumb joke, then it's not a good fit. It's not a good fit because I would
Listen, it's hard for me to gauge this, Melissa, because regardless of if he said that to me, I know you would be my friend, so I would just laugh in his face. So, like, I don't know what it's like to go out with you guys for the first time and have him say that. If Dr. Brilliant said that to me, though, I'd be a little bit like, oh, haha, fuck you.
He is laughing when he says it, and I
know him.
Okay.
He's very sweet. I know him, though.
Right. I guess
I've
that's true.
known him.
So how many friends do you consider? How many people do you have that are your friends now that you've made in the last 5 years that you would consider friends?
This is a good question, actually.
I'm sure there are like 6 or 7 couples, friends that we've made over the past 5 years. 6 or 7 couples.
Oh, so they're your
All right,
couple
that's not
friends.
bad.
Okay, but
Well,
I'm talking about you personally, your personal friends.
My personal friends?
Like you've made a friend. Like you went to the store, you saw this woman, you had a great conversation for 20 minutes, but you know that that's going nowhere. You won't contact her again. You're not going to see her again. You didn't make plans. You know, you're not going to.
But I like her, and I would contact her again and see her again.
Then
but
why don't you?
That
Then
whole,
why don't you?
Well, that whole thing that stops me from RSVPing or answering, like I can answer a text. That's zero effort. It's the 80-20 in me. We did Ethan's room this weekend. We went through his whole room and we cleaned stuff out. And Stuart said, I got this, Melissa, because I know you and you're going to make it worse. Like I will clear out everything. I will make him try on things. I will put things in a donate pile for donations. Donate pile. It's a joke.
Donate.
That's Stuart spelled donate in front of I spelled donate to him in front of the kids with their outside toys, like the cars. I said, I think it's time for D-O-N. And he's like, donate. I'm like, you're an asshole. If I wanted to say it out loud in front of the kids, I would have. No, it's not. So I clear out all of his clothes, and there's a donate pile. There's a give to my girlfriend who I see every Tuesday for her son, who's this tiny nugget who's going to like wear all of Ethan's clothes, and then the trash pile because nobody should wear his boxers ever.
Maybe the issue is that you drift off of topic when people ask you a question, you never answer it. You go into something else because you deflect.
So it's the 80-20 aspect of me.
She does have ADHD, which was actually what she was trying to say, just not effectively.
It's my 80-20. It's my I will text you back because it takes like nothing or ha 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 or that's funny. But I don't talk on the phone. I mean, I think talking on the phone used to be, before life was easier with devices, the way friendships kept together. Phone is out. Email. I mean, RSVPing is my biggest flaw.
I got to tell you, I find that it's easier to Marco Polo with you guys than it is to text. Because one thing I like about...
Not me, because I'm never in a position of being able to talk.
Well, that's because you have a young kid. With us who are in a different area of our life, a different page in our life, that we can actually get away from a rugrat and actually have an adult conversation or say something without, somebody trying to pull our top off. We can do that.
True story.
In about 5 years or so, you'll be able to do that. Right now you're just in where he's very needy and he's, with you all the time. So I understand that. Or you're in bed
I will be.
at 9 o'clock and, me and Melissa are still adults and we're out of bed. We're not, we're allowed to talk. So we can do that. So, yeah, I understand that. But in a couple of years, you'll be able to do that. I think you'll love it.
Yeah.
I think you'll love it, being a grown-up.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
I mean, I remember it well, and it was really fun.
Do you have grown-up friends, Jess? Do you have friends that you see or?
Yes.
That's nice. John?
Well, I think what happens is as I go through life and I find different interests, that my friends follow those interests. When I used to be into hunting, I had a lot of hunting friends. And then when I switched over to poker and started playing poker a lot, I had a lot of poker friends. And now that I'm into podcasting, I would consider that I have a lot of podcasting friends.
Yeah.
So I would think that I have a lot of podcasting friends.
So how do you
It's
see
hard.
them?
I start a podcast with them. And then
okay.
so
see. Okay.
and
The
we
truth
talk
is,
podcasting and
Melissa,
stuff.
like, I'm in the same boat. Like, there are 2 or 3 women that are moms of Isaac's friends that I would like to hang out with, but we keep rescheduling one another. But I mean, you can tell the mutual affection is there, but we don't hang out. And they have the same problem as me. They just keep rescheduling and apologizing and rescheduling and apologizing. And then I have one friend, Nomi, who listens to this show, by the way.
Hi, Nomi.
Hi, Nomi. And I see Nomi and Maya, and the 3 of us get along with very well with the 3 of them. So when Scott's not sick, we're able to do stuff as a family, grown up, and we also like to go out with them without children someday because my son tends to not behave around Maya all the time. I mean, she winds him up. He loves her. And Nomi and I have done stuff together, just me and her, and we do stuff just the 4 of us. But again, it's not something. I don't feel like, I'm not sure what you're saying about like not RSVPing and stuff. Like, I make an effort to reach out to her and say, hey, what are you guys doing? Or she'll be like, hey, you guys want to come over Sunday? Or we see each other like maybe once or twice a month because people are just busy. And because
Yeah.
sometimes Scott doesn't feel well. I mean, you and I used to go out as couples and we stopped, and I don't remember why. First, because we're 40 minutes apart. Also, Scott is sick. Also, Stuart's always on call. Also, you always ask me the last minute because somebody else is canceled. So yeah, I don't know how you have friends, to be honest. No,
So you know,
kidding,
because
I'm
this is
kidding.
it's not the 10th time you've said it. It's at least the 30th.
I'm joking though.
We do not
every
look
joke
for
has
other
a little
people.
bit of truth in it.
No, you said, of course there is. You said your favorite plans are canceled plans. That is your quote. Your favorite
So
plans.
That's
you're
true.
trying to say, Melissa, that you do this on purpose so it makes her feel better?
Nobody has canceled plans with me when I call you. We just do things last minute. We don't plan ahead.
understand.
That's our biggest
teasing
flaw. If we did, maybe people would cancel plans with us, but
But I'm actually quite good at planning ahead. I am terrible at. I mean, I'm obviously not. I guess
You know
if
that
and I
phone
would
has
see each
a
other
thing
more
that shuts
often.
off the ringer, right? You do know that?
He's talking to you. So your favorite plans are canceled plans, and I know that my mother growing up would never ask someone for a favor. It's not something she ever did because she didn't want to owe somebody something for any reason. She didn't want to be in anyone's debt is something she would say. And that
What?
was something I had to, when I became a parent, living nowhere near family or had to make friends and make a community and that whole tribe thing, I had to get over that hint of what I think was kind of damage where my mother said, I would never accept a favor. I will do favors. So I said, so what? Everybody's in your debt? Like, what are you saving up for? A rainy day?
What
like
do you mean? What do you mean?
She-
She won't accept a favor.
She
Why
wouldn't.
not?
'Cause then
Maybe
she has
doesn't
to give
need
a
anything.
favor.
Lucky
Because
her.
because she did not want to live, her quote was, in anyone's debt. She didn't want to owe anybody anything, so she did not let anybody do anything for her, which just ratcheted up to being the worst gift receiver that ever was, not worthy. Like, there are a lot of things that I'm sure my brothers also deal with. Like, we were in a family where my nana would say, don't get me anything. Don't get me anything. You get her a gift and it's the perfect gift. It's what she wants. It's what she needs. No. How could you do this? Return it. Like, she's not worthy. So the not worthy. And this has been a don't do for me, I'll do for you. That whole has been a serious in the debt of kind of thing. And I wonder if that has made a.
Is that a Jewish thing? Because I
A dent in you? Is it a Jewish thing? I
I'm
don't think
dented.
so.
I hope not.
I don't think you're a shitty friend. I think that a lot of times I end up becoming friends with other women who are laid back enough to know that if we see each other, we're thrilled. But if we don't, it's not as if our friendship is drifting away. And women who have been in my life that way are no longer. because I have disappointed them too many times and they were too sensitive to deal with it. So they're not my friends anymore because the women that stick by me are the ones that know I'm terrible at this and they're terrible as well. And it's just fine. It's just fine. I do bring it up to tease you, but part of it is because, I love you and because it doesn't mean our friendship has been damaged in any way by it. It's probably a dig for me to say, like, I would like to see you more. But yeah, we're both terrible at it. So what? I do see you more now because we have a podcast. That's fine.
You see me every week, and I tried to make plans with you for later this week, too.
I could literally call you up and go all day about what a shitty friend you are. Do you think it would mean that we would not be friends?
I don't know. If you attacked me all day about what a shitty friend I was, yes, I think we would know.
But I wouldn't do that. I mean, obviously I wouldn't do that. But I'm just saying, like, there's no... People who are your true friends just know and don't judge you. They don't care. But that said, before Emily passed away, I spent 3 or 4 years, or let's say 5 years, babysitting her all the time. She wasn't trustworthy and she was very high maintenance and she was always in trouble. And Nathan had some issues too. And like, especially the last 2 years before she passed away, when she was in and out of rehab, like I had no social life at all. And when she passed away and people just like showed up to my house, high school friends and sorority sisters and a cappella friends and friends from the synagogue and her friends and stuff. And I thought, wow, these people, I mean, it's true. I don't mean to be so cliche about like, you never know who your real friends are. Like, the point is that after she passed away, I decided to make a conscious effort to reinvest in some of those friendships because after seeing them all at such a difficult time in my life, I realized how much I had missed that. And I didn't know that I had been missing that because I was doing the same, like, we'll see each other again eventually. And it's not that important. And it's, putting it off and putting it off. So like, even though there are friends I still do that with, obviously, I am trying to be more mindful and conscious about friendships and making sure that I see people when I travel or, around here or whatever, because I really missed it. And it's something that, I don't know, it's something that makes me say this adage now, which is like, you don't die alone and you don't die with nothing. There are some things that you can take with you, and that is the connections that you've made to other people. You do take that with you and you leave that behind. So I've learned that twice now, when both of my mother and my daughter, they both affected a lot of people. They both had huge show ups at funerals and stuff like that.
It's that ripple. It's that throwing the rock in the lake and the ripple that goes on, and you don't realize how far it goes.
But Melissa, that is the only thing there is. So if you are aware of the fact that your favorite plans are plans that are canceled, and you know that this is not exactly a good thing, sometimes it's okay to be like, no, I really do want to see you though. Can we make a plan now to do it? Because God forbid something were to happen. I mean, those people are the ones that not only will just be there for you, but that will miss you and love you and wish they had spent more time with you while you were around. Or
that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm going to make a more conscious effort to RSVP. I'm that's my point. How I still have friends. My come to Moses moment was, I want to do better. I want to be better. I want to do and be better.
So, John, when Melissa told me she wanted to have a podcast, would you like to guess what the first rule was that I gave her? Do you remember what it was, Melissa? The one rule that was the most important to me.
Couldn't call you?
No.
Okay.
Shut up.
Damn. Now that's a little nugget right there.
There's nothing.
Okay.
She's just being stupid. That's why I told her to shut up. It's ridiculous.
What was rule number one?
What was the one rule? The first rule to podcast with Jessica was?
When I text you, you have to respond. No ghosting me with the texts.
Oh, you know why? Because remember, you tried to encourage me to do something that was out of my box, and I ran?
No, you just ghost. You just get busy, and you just do this with you do this the same way you do with plans. Like, even if you've been doing it for years, even if it has nothing to do with your knitting business, it's just kind of like, Melissa, are you guys busy? Nothing for like a month. And then you would text me and I would text you back, and then I would ask a question. Nothing for like a week. Like, you just ghost. And so,
Well, she certainly has taken that to heart, because My goodness,
I
she
know.
is on top of us now with this
Right?
podcasting.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I said podcasting is a partnership, and I'm going to need you to respond almost right away.
And
Like,
how
you
am I
need to
doing? And
respond
how
to
am I
me.
doing following your rules, Kupferman?
You're doing it.
Very good.
You're doing it. But you see now why that's an important rule, because you never, I mean,
It wasn't-
the stuff that we text about is like, is it going live? Do we have the this? What are we talking about? Are we,
Life and death, yeah.
I couldn't wonder, where is Melissa?
No,
What
you
is-
don't have to
know what
worry
I mean?
about
What's
that.
happening?
All right,
No.
John.
Shut
all
up,
right.
John. We get it. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right, John.
I'm
But
just saying you're doing well. I'm
yeah.
complimenting you. Now that I know that what the way you used to be and the way you are now, I would say you're cured.
I'm cured. All right. Well, I'm trying to be cured. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to leave the house more. I'm trying.
I mean, it's kind of like the thing I posted the other day. Like, if you're aware of your shortcomings, is that enough? Or do you constantly have to beat yourself up about them and change them? Or can you just do a little at a time? Or do you have to be like, all right, I know I'm selfish, so I will be less selfish. But is that even possible? Because I'm a total
No.
narcissist. Like,
No, I hope the
do you know what
little
I
at a
mean?
time is the right answer. I hope that.
I hope so too. But who knows? I mean, I think it's subjective. People love to beat themselves up about shit.
I'm
Especially
grateful.
me, and especially about my shortcomings. So
My first
I don't think
question
selfish
was
is one
how
of
do.
them.
No, I don't think it is.
Hopefully.
No, I don't think it is. I think my first question was, how do I still have friends? And for that, I'm wholly grateful. I do have friends. I do have people that still invest in me and even local, not just the far away people and people I don't Marco Polo with, believe it or not. Even the woman I ran into in the supermarket who shared a family story with me who was so lovely. I would go, hey, if you're listening, I'd love to go out to dinner. I only go out to dinner. So if you want to go out to dinner, and dear listener, if you have gone out to dinner with Stuart and myself in the past and he's made that dumb joke, he's kidding, right? Please call us. We would love to see you. We are social. We are outgoing introverts. So push us
And you're
out of our
both
box.
very sweet. You have friends because of all the people I know, you are probably I've said this on the show before. You are the most caring
Aw.
you are the most caring and the most giving and almost in the most bossiest way, which I love.
You are the bitchiest caring person.
I love that though.
I'm a little hurt here because I would thought that when I said, have you made any friends, in the past, I would have been included, but you're like, no. So I guess we're not friends.
I said 5 or 6. I said
Oh.
five or six
Okay.
friends.
People.
Well,
Not including the couples.
there's a couple in there, but I count them as one because if they're a couple, they come as a pair. We're not going out
Right.
without Stu. If Stu's there, you're one person to me.
So there are a lot of people that I've met online at events or just online that I adore and love with all my heart, but that I haven't talked to maybe in like a year or two. Like,
Or met
do you
them in
have
person.
do you have to do friend maintenance on everyone that you love, or is it okay to just keep up with them on Facebook and like their posts? Is that enough? I mean, I guess there's no rules, right? But like, if Annie found rules, then I guess there's rules. But like, there are a lot of women friends that I love that are just, they just float it out because I'm into doing something else and their thing doesn't apply to my thing anymore. And so we can't really help each other as much as we used to. But that doesn't mean we don't cheer each other on.
Well, that's it. It's I have kids and most of them, my kids have decided to not engage with sports. So I told you they go to CrossFit, but other families we have swim team every night. We have golf practice. We have lacrosse. So they are constantly at something, and God help you if your kid joins marching band because your life is over.
Your life is over.
It's
and
over.
theater, I'm learning. Because
Over.
my friend who does comedy with me, Tara, her daughter's in theater, and like she's having, because it was opening night last weekend and the show's 2 weekends, like, oh my God, she's been running around like crazy with set and costumes and rehearsal and stuff.
Yeah. So your life's over. And who do they see? Only other theater parents, I guess. That's who they
Again,
bring in
yeah.
Chick-fil-A and sit there and build and whatever, paint. So,
Well, and also like me, her husband is ill. So this is how she met a friend. She did a comedy class. That's how I met a friend.
she lives in New Jersey.
She's from New Jersey. No, she lives here.
Oh, okay. So it's definitely I have friends ish, and I told you I went to a funeral of a young person last week, the week before, a young person. Let me tell you, that room had over 1,000 people in it for her
course it
funeral.
did.
Well,
So,
it's not a networking place, do you think?
But also when it's a child who's in school, all their classmates and all their parents will be there, and it
That's
becomes
true.
hundreds and hundreds of people.
Right.
so, but
So
all of
you
these
were trolling
people,
for friends there?
no, who are peripherally.
What?
Well,
I thought she was trolling for friends at this funeral. I was like, I don't know if that's the best
Oh
place
my
to
God.
do it.
That's
I actually sat with one of Ethan's friends, his mother. I sat with her, and I think she's awesome. I like her a lot. There, I'll float it. I like her a lot, but I can't commit because I don't know. I would love to meet
Why
her
not?
for lunch. I would love to meet up with her, but she's busy. She has 2 kids. They're in activities, and
You have 2 kids in activity.
not really. I mean, today's activity is going to the hygienist, my kid's teeth being cleaned, and tomorrow's activity is going to the orthodontist, so they could get yelled
Is
at.
this what you do all day?
Yeah.
Is what I do all day. Take
She
my kids
shuffles
to
the
kids to
dogs, the
things?
kids, everybody. They all have
I
appointments. That's
juggle.
what she does.
Yes, that's exactly what I do. Kids and dogs and people and committees and
She's like a
affili-
cruise
Makes me
director.
think you need to do more marketing for our podcast.
and affiliations with both my synagogue and the kids' school. And yeah, I mean, I do things. I do things. What are you saying? I don't do things.
You're gonna have to do more things.
Mallory needs to have a dress for this trip she's taking to Washington, D.C. The one night she stays over, there's a dance, and all the girls, I told you, are wearing like strapless and sequins, and they think it's a prom
Oh my God! What?
when they're 13 and 14. And I sat in a dressing room with her, and she put on some cute things and some "you're not wearing that" things, and because she's this little creature. She's 13. She's not even 14 yet. So I was encouraged to tell other parents to not let your child be so crazy about what they wear. Meanwhile, Ethan went last year, and he spent the whole time in the arcade at the hotel in his khakis and blazer. He must have been in the hotel playing games in the arcade. So she's more of a dancer, and she'll go to the dance, but I don't want her feeling less than when all these girls have slamming heels, like 4-inch heels and sequins, but she's just not that kind of kid. So we had a great day shopping yesterday, and we got a couple of semi-appropriate things. Nothing with sequins, nothing with 4-inch heels.
Thank God.
Yeah,
What the frig?
her taste, though, seems to be kind of in her ass. So I'm trying to help her see that Easter dress is lace up top and white with green flowers and minty and not really appropriate for, I don't know.
Minty?
Yeah, it's mint and white colors.
Oh,
she
that
picks.
sounds pretty.
Oh, gross. She picks and I would love for her to wear a little black dress. Like, I would love for her to accessorize the shit out of a little black dress, but she's not going to a funeral. She is going, or a nightclub. She is going to an 8th grade dance. So I'm trying to stay appropriate for her, and I bought a couple of things online that I can
It's
return.
hard.
and-
8th grade is hard. They want to be an adult so badly.
Right. And she's going to high school next year, and some of her friends are adult-like, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. She is still this little person that I want to stay a little person and not be in the high school and not be all growing up. And I'm trying to stand on her feet so she doesn't go too far. But, she is a shining star, and she will soar. And I just have to hop on tight to her coattails and let her take me where she takes me, or just sit home with Stuart and say, I wish I had more control over this. John makes fun of me from trying to control their lives, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to back up from that too.
Does it feel like you're trying to control their lives?
I'm going to
Could it
send you
not?
pictures of the dresses that she picked out that I bought for her. Let me tell you, I would have spent more, but I went to Marshall's and we found some super cute things. I'll send you pictures and you'll be like, she's 13 and in what? But I'm trying to let her be herself, and it is difficult for me. Okay? It's difficult.
We get it. I understand. It must be killing you.
But
that
what are you
can't
trying to control exactly?
Everything.
He's not wrong. He might be annoying me by saying it, but he's not wrong.
Correct.
I mean, the backlash to this is that they depend on you for everything and are completely incapable of doing anything on their own.
Yes.
Just so you know, it's not what you think, which is that you have control, therefore you can prevent them from pain, suffering, or stupid mistakes. None of that is true. All of it is about, you rendering them incompetent and helpless.
Which is my goal not to do. Correct. Which is how that oldest sibling of mine who you never knew about wound up turning to my parents and saying, "You did everything for me. I don't even know how to open a bank account because of you." Okay.
I didn't know how to do that either. I didn't even know how to do my own laundry because my parents had a cleaning lady that did it for us. And I had my first boyfriend in college had to teach me how to do fucking laundry. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's funny because Ethan's now doing his own laundry. I love it.
Good. He should be. I taught both my kids how to do laundry. That's the one thing and actually at 8 years old, I was like, here's what you do.
Yeah. I mean,
because I couldn't risk that happening again. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah,
hey,
it's
listen,
a service.
back in the 20s at 8 years old, you went into the coal mine. So a little bit of washing, I'm sure they can handle.
I mean, right. Yeah, at least he wasn't a seamstress.
That's
So are we going to talk about this Michelle Wolf's performance thing?
Yeah, we can. I only saw a tiny bit of it, though.
I thought she was great.
Michelle Wolf at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, right?
Yep.
Yes.
You got it. She was great. She came out and did exactly what a comedian is supposed to do. She came out and she said it in the middle of her speech. She said, "I bet you're wishing you vetted this better, or you should have done more research before choosing me to do this." But they should have. If they didn't want somebody who was a political commentator, a political comedian, to rag on everybody, then they should shut up. And at no point, then they should have chosen someone else, is my point. And at no point did she make
why
fun.
was she I mean, did anyone say anything about why she was chosen? Or
Forget about that. I don't care who you choose when they go up there. They're going to take shots at people. That's what comedy is.
Isn't that why they have the person?
Yes, it's First Amendment.
What is this dinner for? I mean, it's for the journalists, right? Like, it's a White House Correspondents' Dinner.
And politicians show up as well. And it's a nice mix of...
show up.
Yes.
What the fuck are they celebrating exactly, especially this year?
Freedom of speech.
All right, fair enough.
Freedom
then
of-
how can you get mad at a comedian?
Very good question. Why would you hire a comedian if that's not what you want to
Well,
hear?
and that's what people are saying. Like, why, again, as they do every year, people wonder, should they discontinue the tradition of having comedians perform? I mean, duh. It's going to be insulting every year. Who could you possibly have? That's going to, what is the point of having a comedian unless you want to hear some truth? Isn't it like a roast? Isn't it meant to be a roast? Has any comedian ever gone up there and not roasted the administration?
No.
If the answer, then shut up, people. It makes no sense that they're all upset. This is just logic to me. A plus B is C, obviously. I just don't understand.
Again,
Anyway,
I think with the political correctness that's going on in this world, you can't offend, you can't insult, you can't kid about, you can't joke about anything.
More specifically, she made a joke about Reince Priebus, and he gave a thumbs up, and he laughed.
That was hilarious.
Right? And he was a good sport. And then...
She didn't make a joke about Reince. She said that was her porn name.
And he...
Reince.
But that's making
That
fun
is
of
some
him,
funny
right?
shit,
So
though.
if you want to look for him... So he laughed, and he gave her a thumbs up. And then...
That's not really an insult.
Then who'd she go after next? That was Kellyanne Conway was there, and she gave a deadpan face. You are going to be roasted. If you don't want your opinion or don't sit there with that fucking puss on your face like a stupid bitch.
I saw Sarah.
Sarah did it, and so did Kellyanne Conway. Just
Yeah.
stared at her, tried to stare her down. Well, you know what? I would have doubled down on you too, bitch, for sitting 7 feet from me with that puss on your face that you normally have every day. That's what's despicable about it, that she sat there.
I also want to know. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You were saying despicable.
That she sat there and tried to bore holes through her. Don't show up and don't sit 5 feet from her knowing what's happening. And don't sit there with a face. You know what? If she were to have smiled and laughed it off a little, it would have been over. And Dennis Miller with his stupid ass opinion. And
I don't know about that.
It would have been over if she went ha ha
was a
ha
written
and laughed
speech.
it off. If she laughed it off, it would have been over. But no, she had to sit there with her. How dare you say such things about me? I don't think you're funny. You're not a comedian. You're not supposed to. She was hilarious.
How is Dennis Miller still a comedian? As far as I'm concerned, he's probably the unfunniest stand-up person I've ever heard of in my life. He says his jokes are either I'm a moron and stupid because his jokes go, I don't even understand what he's talking about.
So on
It's
Weekend
like,
Update, he was hilarious, right? Weekend Update, Saturday Night Live.
all right,
Then
somebody
he
was writing
started
stuff for him.
I think he wrote some of it, but then he was
Maybe.
doing, what did he do after? Oh, the sports. He was a commentator where everybody said, your
Monday Night Football.
references, right,
He-
your 27
he ruined-
references. Yeah, go ahead.
He ruined Monday Night Football because he would say stuff like, oh, well, that guy just dropped the ball like Fellini does this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what?
Wrong
what
crowd. Exactly. He has no idea who his audience is. And then he basically at that point, when they booted him from that, I think he lost his mind and separated from reality. And now he just throws out dumb, super, super conservative comments that have no place. If that were the same Dennis Miller that was anywhere near Saturday Night Live, he'd have no career at all.
He doesn't have a career. What did he actually say? Do you know what he actually said?
He said that she
Dennis
was just
Miller?
Michelle Wolf. Yeah, what was his comment? That she was terrible and he's going to wait till Wednesday. He'll have some jokes about her or something.
Oh, can't wait to hear these jokes.
And if you're a comedian, that had to have been a joke in the first place, because if you have to wait till Wednesday to comment, you're really not a comedian.
Dennis Miller slams Michelle Wolf on Twitter, then gets roasted worse than Sarah Sanders.
Thank you. That's all that matters. Perfect.
Ah.
Close that book. Yes.
Here's Dennis Miller now. I'm going to wait till Wednesday when my friends come in here and write some jokes that are actually funny. I'm going to tell them, and you'll see.
Yeah, and then people wrote back, Dennis Miller hasn't written a funny joke since Daisy Fuentes tripped over a box of limited edition Slobodian Milosevic Beanie Babies on the Save the Whales episode of the Supermarket Suite.
That's a Dennis Miller joke.
That's
That
Dennis
is a
Miller
Dennis
alone
Miller
in his
joke.
house. That's right. 5 days later, finally yells his comeback into the void. Sassy 8-year-old to Dennis Miller. Smell you later, Gramps.
Exactly.
Dennis Miller,
Perfect.
you can expect my retort in the mail within 10 business days. Question of the day, who is Dennis Miller? I love that Dennis Miller is still using publicity photo that is older than some Twitter users.
Now that's
No
funny,
wonder
ladies and
Dennis Miller
gentlemen.
no wonder Dennis Miller bombed Monday Night Football. They were expecting improvisation from a guy who needs 4 days to write a joke. Oh my god!
And now I feel
Okay.
better. Now I feel better because
He
I
got
loved him on
roasted,
Saturday Night Live,
yeah.
but
Me too. He was so funny.
he's done.
So
You're
this
done,
is what
buddy.
CNN
You're
is
done.
saying about Michelle Wolf. That first of all, she wanted to napalm the room unapologetically, and she did that.
Good.
She's a Daily Show comic. No, sorry, that's who introduced her, was a Daily Show comic.
No, she is a Daily Show comic. She has a regular.
She does. She's not part of the world of Washington, which was seen as a good thing. She went for lots of low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of ways to go after Sanders. She's overly antagonistic to reporters, but to make fun of her makeup. You didn't
She
make fun of
made
her
that
makeup.
joke. She made that joke that she's overly
of all, she
antagonistic to reporters. That's the joke she made.
didn't make fun of her makeup. What she says would, which I
liar.
thought was hilarious, but probably hurtful. She burns facts and then uses the ash to create a perfect smoky eye.
Right. She
Yeah,
said
what's
she's a
wrong with
liar. She called her a liar.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's lies.
That's it.
Well, first of all, I don't think Sarah always knows what she's saying is a lie, that she's just doing her job. So that was a little bit mean.
no.
But the funny thing was that they panned over to her, and there she is with her smoky eyes trying to burn a hole in this.
CNN is saying that Michelle was bullying her because
Oh, for
she sat 5
love
feet
of-
away and just took it. She also said she's like an Uncle Tom, but for white women who disappoint other white women.
Yes, she disappoints by backing up a pussy-grabbing narcissist asshole
It's
sitting in the
true.
White House. So, yes, you should be ashamed of yourself, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So, because she's not ashamed enough, it's time to shame her a little.
Here's Wolf's joke about Vice President Mike Pence's opposition to abortion.
That was
He
a
thinks
tough one.
abortion is murder, which, first of all, don't knock it till you try it. And when you do try it, really knock it. You know, you've got to get that baby out of there. I don't even get this joke. What does that mean, really knock it?
She did a visual with it. Like she put her elbow into it. She said, "You really got to knock that baby out of there." Look, the joke I thought was
That's
funny.
gross.
The joke I thought it was funny. It wasn't her best, but I could see why people would be upset, all of them about it. That is not what they're really even commenting on. They're commenting on that Sarah Sanders bullshit, and Sarah needs to either step down or get a tougher, thicker skin because she works for the biggest douchebag in the universe.
So Daddy's coming out on his show, and he's going to defend his daughter by, roasting Michelle Wolf. And you know what I say? Good. Okay, you want to roast her? Fine. But be funny.
She roasts herself. She said that would be like you calling me joke-telling, frizzy-haired, no tits, or whatever she said. She was hilarious. She was hilarious. She was
let's not get crazy. She was okay.
The last thing that this article in CNN says, which is absolutely true, that Michelle Wolf did exactly what she did for the exact reason about what's happening right now. Like, no one knew her name before this weekend, and now everyone is talking about her. She created an
Are you fiddling with your mic cord?
No, maybe. She I didn't know it was under me.
Okay.
She created just enough controversy where everyone in the country would know her, and it's not going to ruin her career.
Oh, it shouldn't. And I did know her from The Daily Show, and she was pretty, her voice can be horribly annoying.
Shrill.
She is more than a little shrill. But I said her content was good. It's just her voice. It's, oh my God, sometimes eek. But I support her.
Nothing a little deviated septum operation couldn't fix.
I got your back.
Is she
bitch.
also a woman of color or just very, very tan?
Hard to tell.
She is not a woman of color. She is white. She is a redhead with fiery, awesome hair that with some product is great and without product is wow. But she is white, a white redhead.
Okay.
Are you sure?
I am.
Is she a bottle redhead or is she like a natural?
No, her face
that
is all
doesn't
freckles.
matter. But
Her face is all freckles.
Does the curtains match the carpet? I don't know.
She's freckle face.
This does not matter in any way, but I just thought it would be very interesting if a woman of color made these jokes in this particular administration.
And here's the other thing. Why doesn't Trump come to these things?
Because he can't handle it. It's the other half of your sentence. You said if you can't handle it, what? Trump, he didn't come.
He should come. He should come there because, again, he was there when they were ripping on Obama. He went there. He was in the audience. And then Obama ripped on him. Trump was in the audience, and Obama ripped on him. And then in, 4 or 5 years, he had Obama's job.
If Trump was there, he could have done the same thing. He could have.
He could have went up there and blasted. Like he'll sit on the toilet and tweet at the press and get his jokes out or whatever. But there he could have had writers and went out there and really made himself look, I feel, a little bit more human. I don't know. I'll tell you what. You want to talk about something that's so cringy? Was when he called into Fox and Friends in the morning?
Oh my God.
And
yeah, what the hell happened there? Was he high?
He lost his mind. He doesn't do drugs, Jess. He just lost his mind.
Oh my God.
I got Melania a nice card for her birthday. A nice card.
What'd you get her? I don't know. I can't tell you. What? Huh?
It's a matter of national security. I can't tell you. I got her a green card.
What the hell? That was so weird.
Right.
Well, I keep voting for him.
Maybe it's a good thing he didn't go to. Maybe it's a good thing he didn't go to this thing because he would have had to speak in front of people, and that might not have been too well.
It never goes well. Never. Speaking of women of color, it does turn out that Michelle Wolf is white. But check this out. I read this yesterday. You guys are going to crap in your pants. So there's a new Asian restaurant that was attached to Whole Foods. I mean, it's actually a restaurant that's been around for a while. But Whole Foods just partnered with them to create the 365 Cafe. And the cafe is called Yellow Fever.
No.
It's an Asian food restaurant called Yellow Fever.
No.
So I guess the Asian owner, they decided that Dragon Lotus Happy Bamboo was too overdone. And they wanted to go with something memorable, right? So I looked up yellow fever. It's a disease that gives you fever, chills, nausea, loss of appetite, and yellow skin. Delicious.
Just like every other Chinese restaurant in the area.
Oh, stop.
Great name. Great name.
Oh, my God. Did you also know, by the way, that yellow fever is the Asian version of jungle fever? It refers to like a white guy's obsession with Asian ladies.
I did not know that.
I have that.
Yeah. You have that?
Yes.
Are you obsessed with Asian women? Really?
Oh, my God. I find Asian women very, very exotic and beautiful.
Interesting.
Wish they would find me that way, but it doesn't seem to happen.
So,
apparently they don't have Caucasian fever.
No. white fever.
They don't have they don't have marshmallow fever.
No marshmallow. I was hoping for fluffernutter fever, but nothing like that has happened so far.
I mean, though, but imagine you have yellow fever and you go into one of these places and you're like, all right, I'll take the one frying noodles. How much extra for the happy ending?
Ooh.
You like that?
I do. If you can't get it at the spa, get it at Yellow Fever.
Get it at Yellow Fever. Isn't that why if you had yellow fever, you would go to Yellow Fever? Is to pick out a lady. Anyway, so the owners, right? So the article says the owners said they wanted to redefine the term and take back the racist imagery. But I thought, like, when you do that, you need to have like more than 3 Asians on board with the plan. You know, like gay people took the gay word because it meant like carefree and lighthearted. I thought they all had like a meeting before that year's parade and made a vote, and it was signed off on by RuPaul, and then boom, they were gay. Isn't that how that works?
I'm still stuck on I can go get a Fu Young
all right,
and
take
some
it easy,
nice
lemon
little
squeezy.
Asian
Take it
woman.
easy.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yellow Fever. That was just not
So gross.
checked.
I mean, when I think, the first thing I think with yellow fever is I think vomit. Vomiting and diarrhea is the first thing that I think of. And then I didn't even know that it meant a white guy's obsession with Asian women, but like that poor man going to a yellow fever restaurant expecting to see like the Asian version of Hooters.
Oh. Now you just, that's
God.
$1 million idea.
attached to Whole Foods.
I would eat lunch there every day.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say. I just think if you're going to take back racist imagery, you have to send out the memo. Other people have to know about it. Because one of the most insulting parts about this is that they're Asian. They just decided out of nowhere. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's a terrible
Anyway.
name, but a hilarious story. That's a terrible name. Who did the research on that? Market research 0.0.
0.00. I know, it's terrible.
I'm sure it was a
Anyway.
white guy.
So I just want to talk about it because because last week I got in trouble for calling someone a Jew on She Podcast, and I'm Jewish. So I'm not sure why being a Jew, I mean, it must have been the way I said it. The way I said it was definitely offensive because it offended someone.
You're talking about Mark Zuckerberg.
I called him a little Jew from Harvard. Little
Right,
Jew,
a little-
meaning he was short. I just meant he was short, for Christ's sake.
Could you make
that's probably
John say his
offensive,
name
too.
again? Can you make John say his name again?
What's his name, John?
Zuckerberg?
Zuckerberg?
Zuckerberg.
You said
What did I say?
Zuckenberger.
Zuckerberg?
Zuckerberger.
Zuckerberger. Anyway.
The great thing about me, I'm always close.
Was there any follow-up on that story, Jess? Any follow-up?
Not yet because she hasn't been able to address.
No, I want
address
to talk.
it.
I need to talk about it with Elsie. But yellow fever. First of all, it offended me, and I'm not even Asian. I was just like,
What? Did it really offend you? Like what? Okay,
Yes!
This is perfect. Hang on one second, because I really want to take this from a side. Look at this. Melissa's sinking down in the chair. She doesn't even want to address this. All right, so let me ask this question. So you were offended. What did that feel like? What happened? What did you do? Did it make you sick to your stomach? What happened? You were offended. You were offended
I
by this
saw
name.
that this-
What did it do?
it made me feel bad for the Asian people that like. It made me feel badly for Asian people who have been called yellow or whatever their whole lives. Like now there's a restaurant called Yellow Fever. I don't know. It just made me feel like
So it
that's so
actually
offensive
did
to
nothing.
them.
It really did nothing. You were just like, wow, that's offensive. I must be offended.
It made me
now.
kind of
I have to
sad,
be
I guess. It
offended
made
now.
me feel sad. It made me feel sad and a little angry at how stupid they are.
Okay, so a sad and a little angry.
Well, but it's been a long time since I've been really highly offended. I wouldn't say I was highly offended. I would say I was shocked at how offensive it was. I don't know that I was personally offended because I'm not Asian, but I was shocked at the offensive title of. I'm just It's shocking to me that that would fly at Whole Foods. It's shocking. And again, what does
Okay,
that
I
feel
get
like?
that.
Surprise!
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, see, my biggest thing right now is with comedy. All of a sudden, if you're offended, that gives you the right to suppress somebody's comedy.
Nobody's
This is a comedy.
Nobody's suppressing anything, and this is a store that wants business, as opposed to a comedian or somebody doing material that's going to be put out for the general public. Jess, on the marketing side, is
they're
thinking,
not comedians. They're fucking food makers, and they named it after a disease. I mean, what's next? Like the diarrhea diner?
"Ooh,
Who would name their restaurant Yellow Fever? I mean, would Scarlet Fever make it spicy food?
I can't wait to go to the Smallpox Deli.
What about Typhoid Mary? That sounds delicious. Like, nothing about a disease is delicious, first of all. And second of all, there's a racial slur in the middle of it. It just makes no sense, and it's unappetizing. The whole thing is unappetizing. From disease all the way to...
You wouldn't go to the Smallpox Deli?
no."
How about the Typhoid Inn
Why
Diner?
don't you name it? Yeah, the Vomitorium. Mush and chunks is our specialty.
How about going to the polio, and chicken polio? The polio chicken
Well
place.
said, Melissa.
Can't get it out.
Well
What
said.
is wrong with my mouth?
I mean, why don't you just open up like a shit burger? Call it shit burger.
I might try that.
Only make it somehow racist in there, like a terrible racist comment / shit burger.
Can't we go to the Measles Tavern tonight? I hear they're having 50% off wings.
So what Jess is saying, it's a double offensive, meaning nobody would eat where you're telling it's named after a disease and a racial slur at the same time. It's a 1-2 punch of stupidity.
It's a 1-2 punch of right. Yes. Thank you.
So if you're going to be that stupid in two separate ways, why have you not thought this out better? Why did you do no
Whole
market
Foods
research?
approve this?
How did a chain so high line on that my kids call whole paycheck because it's expensive and a
Everyone
higher
calls it.
line and a better organic source of food come up with a name that is offensive in two separate ways, and nobody stopped them on their way to making signage? Nobody said, did you know that this is both a disease and an insensitive comment about Asians? Nobody stopped them anywhere along the way.
So I just looked this story up, and I hear that they're also opening up a black sickle cellar for wine.
There you go. There you go. That's the equivalent, and also just as stupid.
That is funny.
Right.
Thanks.
That's the equivalent. You got it.
I'm trying to think if there's any diseases that only. I mean, like, I was trying to compare it to like a Jewish thing, but I can't think of anything.
Well, Tay-Sachs isn't one people would know. Is it
No,
really?
and it's not really if you have it, who even would know? But like, there's no. But yellow fever didn't just affect Asian people, but it's just a coincidence that it happens to be a racial slur as well. But I can't think of any diseases that are also racial slurs, nor can I think of any food that rhymes with any diseases. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
And
the joke is done. We are done
Right.
with this segment. The
So-
funny part, John ended it beautifully with black sickle cell. That's hilarious.
Cellar, not sickle cellar for wine.
Cellar. I'm sorry.
wine cellar. It was cute.
Fine wines and Ripple at the black sickle cellar. Yes.
That
at
is
Whole
a good
Foods.
closer. That's a good closer. I did see a movie this weekend. I saw the Infinity Wars, and in there, at one point, somebody said, "No can do," and I totally thought of you guys because we went over the racist beginnings of no can do. So I was like, "Hey, I wonder
forgot
if they know."
all about no can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and cotton picking. Get your cotton picking hands off
Cotton
of that.
picking is
Horrible.
it's so obvious. I can't believe I never saw it until someone pointed it out.
Really? So then, if you want, so then next to the black sickle cellar for wine, could you have the black cotton picker yarn store? Would that work
No.
too?
John, I think you're done for today.
That's it. I'm
I'm gonna
done.
have to
think
pull
you
you
could.
over. I'm gonna pull you over.
I'm going to get
I'm
a
pretty
ticket.
sure the answer
You're getting
is no.
you're getting a
to
ticket.
That one.
I'm finding
Oh.
him, Jessica. I'm finding him. You're gonna get a.
How much is that ticket worth? I'm curious.
Right now it's up to $165 of offense. So that's where we are.
That's
Holding
quite
steady.
expensive. That's very
It
expensive.
is quite expensive.
Well,
All right, why don't you
sure.
read us on out, girls?
All right.
wrap it up.
Thank you
slip
guys
it, rub
so
it
much.
down.
Every time. Oh no! Thank you guys so much for listening. You can check us out at our website, which is brilliantobservations.com. Also, please check us out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at Listen Brilliant, and write us and tell us what you thought about this episode, whether or not Melissa's being a shitty friend, whether or not yellow fever is a place where you would eat.
Would you buy your wine at the Sickle Cellar?
Would you buy your wine at the Black Sickle Cellar?
And that's our pod show.
And that's our show for today. Brilliantobservations at gmail.com is our email. Thank you so much for listening. We hope it was funny and that you enjoyed it. And by the way, if you did, it wouldn't kill you to give us a rate and review. Put the little star. Tell us what you think. We love you. Thank you. Thank you guys both for showing up and being funny with me today. You guys have a good one. See you next time. Bye.